Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back KS family. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth and positive excellence in the process. And please note, I don't have WhatsApp or Telegram, but scammers do. We're seeing a lot of negative news inside the crypto market, but there's always opportunities. And with that, let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently up 0.01% to 16,777. Ethereum is down 0.98% to 1255. We have a couple of shining examples. Doge up 9.87%. to 9.29. TWT is up 15.39% to $1.35. In the social sector, Alpine is up 4.27% to $2.93. PaxG is down 1.97% to $17.34. That's the digital equivalent of gold. And DOT is up 2.99% to $5.86. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know that our love and healing thoughts are with you as a global family. You're not alone. There's always hope and the sun will come out again. And I just wanted to give Beardy a special call out. His father passed away 6 years ago, so it's just a beautiful time to remember him. And Beardy, you've shared so much kindness and fun with our beloved global family. Thank you, my friend. And Beardy has very generously put forward the Beardy CTKS Partial Masterclass Scholarship, and I'm still waiting to hear back to the awardee of the ALTS CTKS Partial Masterclass Scholarship. A couple of days ago, we saw that FTX filed for Chapter 11 under the US bankruptcy code. CoinDesk did a bit of analysis. There are an estimated, in excess of 100,000 estimated creditors, estimated assets for FTX US and Alameda between 10 and 50 billion, and the estimated liabilities between 10 and 50 billion as well. A lot of big names in the investing industry have been caught up with FTX and suffered significant losses. There's a lot of new connections coming to light. It's a very, very tricky situation that Sam Bankman-Fried finds himself in. And a lot of disturbing reports are coming out in the media. We have to keep our eye on this to separate noise from fact, but things don't look too good. The corporate structure of FTX and Alameda has come to light, and you can see it's a very, very convoluted structure. When you have convoluted structures like this, they're usually not for the investor's benefit. It's quite common for multi-billion-dollar companies to have a significant complexity to their corporate structures, but not like this. And what we actually see, if we look at Sam Bankman-Fried, and the different companies he owns and is involved in, and the various arrangements, all of these green lines, funding arrangements, all the different things that they're involved with, it really smells. It's really little wonder when Binance did its due diligence and saw all of this, it would just say, this is a ball of wool, this is so messy. Most of the assets that FTX had were its own token, FTT, and it could just literally mint that out of thin air. So what has actually happened now? Industry players are saying, hang on a second, what about all the other exchanges? You need to provide proof of reserves or proof of funds. And KuCoin CEO says it's on the way. The industry definitely needs to clean up its act. And when you look at top exchanges by stablecoin outflows in the past 7 days, you can see KuCoin had $304 million worth. KuCoin CEO came out and said, we were just transferring one coin from ERC20 to TRC20. And CoinDesk quickly updated their analysis. But you can see FTX $451 million flow in stablecoins. The exchange tokens on other exchanges, for example, Huobi, the crypto industry is putting every exchange under the microscope. Bitfinex is also under the microscope. CRO as well. One exchange that is pretty much destined to escape any particular problem is Coinbase. Coinbase is very, very transparent with its reserves. They are actually the largest publicly traded crypto exchange in the world and been serving customers for over a decade. And Coinbase holds customer assets 1-to-1, and we won't lend out those assets without your consent, says Coinbase in its shareholder letter, third quarter 2022. And there's some really interesting statistics I just popped in there for you as well. When we look at the tokens, and we covered this yesterday, but I think it's good to reiterate it, just in case you missed yesterday's episode. The recent funding rounds by FTX Ventures for different projects, you can see those different projects here. And Alameda Research portfolios, launch tokens, you can see those there. I think what we're going to have inside the crypto industry is a flight to safety, a flight up to the very, very big names and away from the smaller names, until things are sorted out, and they will become sorted out. When the internet gained mainstream adoption, in 1996, there were approximately 45 million people using the internet. By 1999, this climbed to 150 million. And then in 2000, there were 407 million users worldwide. And around the 2000s, we saw the dotcom crash. A lot of people just got into the internet, just thinking if I say the word internet, people are going to throw money at me. The same thing happened with crypto. But however, there were many internet companies that survived, and they went on to become multi-billion dollar businesses. You probably know a couple, for example, Google and Amazon, and of course, Microsoft got involved as well. You can think back to the dot-com crash, where in the year 2000, lots and lots of value was wiped off the internet industry. Crypto is Internet 3.0. It's the internet of money. And of course, just in the same way we had the internet explosion, we're having one now. And that doesn't mean the crypto is dead. Far from it. What's happening realistically is that the governments all around the world just want to regulate it because they want their cut of the fees. If the internet was not a good industry, we would expect less users than what happened when the whole dot-com bubble exploded. So how many users are there of the internet right now in 2022? Let's check it out. Is it more than 407 million? Okay, keep our fingers crossed. As of April 2022, there are more than 5,000 million internet users worldwide, or 63.1% of the global population. Oh, okay, I guess the dot-com bust didn't stop the internet. And when you look at things like the crypto crash, this is just like what happened in around the year 2000. This is, of course, a terrible thing, especially if you've been impacted. But the concept is that crypto is not going anywhere but into adoption as we go through time. And you're in a particularly powerful time. I think it's really important to contextualize price action. When you think about Amazon back in the 2000s, back in when the dot-com crash happened, that they were an online book retailer. The price just up here. Wow, can you imagine if we could buy Amazon right now at the top of the dot-com bubble for around $3.23? How cool would that be? But we can see that even though Amazon has been hard hit just recently, it's significantly above these peaks in the dot-com crash. Now that should actually tell you quite a story. When you have crypto companies and crypto exchanges that do the right thing, that are transparent and don't misuse funds, they will grow, and they will grow absolutely massively. Just look at this, consider this percentage return, 111,888.89% in Amazon's price since its inception, even though it lost a lot of value in the dot-com crash. Many people wish that they had a time machine so that they could go back and buy the top of the dotcom crash with Amazon stock. Look how well they would have done. And even though it's come down quite substantially, it doesn't realistically matter because these companies are very, very good. So how does this relate to crypto? To understand the answer to that question, we need to understand what crypto actually is. And we can say it in kind of one word: Web3. Web3 is crypto. It's the decentralized blockchain technology based on token-based economics. It's the evolution of the internet. Internet 2.0, read and write. The internet of information. Web 3.0 is the internet of value, but it's just an upgrade of the internet. And you can see what adoption we've had in the internet. We're going to see similar adoption patterns in Web 3.0 for sure, and that means crypto. And the term Web3 was coined by Gavin Wood, Ethereum co-founder and founder of Polkadot. No wonder Polkadot is rallying today. People are saying, hey, hang on a second, this is Web3. I'm going to go and invest in DOT. People trust Gavin, and I believe Gavin is a man of great integrity. Unfortunately, many people are reading these headlines and just fleeing the market as the market comes down. And that's always what happens with retail thinking and investing. Retail is buying on green as it's going up. And of course, it feels fantastic. But smart money is all about actually putting the percentage on your side. When the percent is on your side, even if you're not on the right side of the trade, but you are on the right side of the percentage, you will do incredibly well. And what we'll find over time is that the crypto market will go up and it will pull retail back in. It will come down again and retail will scatter. It will go up, retail will come back, and it will scatter as well. And this loop will keep on repeating, and all markets do this. It's really important to understand that this is nothing new. This is what all markets do. But you want to have a smart money mindset. The smart money mindset is all about probability. It's not about certainty. It's about probability and rules. And actually just learning each and every day. If you can understand how different markets interrelate, that is, how does the global markets, how do those global markets impact crypto? And we know they do. Bond prices, bond yields, gold, the DXY, it all matters. And when you're a crypto technical analyst, and these are just the various components of the masterclass, what you will find is that you get a very, very good synchronization in with the markets. It may take some time because the biggest problem is overcoming fear. And we do that through positive excellence and real wealth. Fear, when it's the CEO of your decision making, it will basically create the very things that you don't want to see. But when courage takes over as the CEO, because you've run the numbers, you understand the personalities of the cryptos you're dealing with, you're in sync because you're doing your BORSOG code each and every day. And the BORSOG code is explained in episode 685. Sometimes I say 685 and sometimes people think that's 695. I'm not sure how that happens. Perhaps it's my accent. But the concept is we control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. And what you try to do is to try to just boost up your synchronization factor. And this is this one here. And the BORSOG code, which is your daily three-dimensional risk management code, is a way to learn from the market because you're asking very, very central questions. Is the market going to go down? What percentage do I give that? Is it going to go neutral? What percentage do I give that? Is it going to go up? What percentage do I give that? And you just pick the largest percentage and put it at the start. And then you think about your portfolio. And this is what a lot of people don't do, especially if you're trapped in that kind of long-term investing perspective, because long-term investing is by nature, you don't look at the day-to-day because that's kind of noise, but it's not. In crypto, you need to look day to day. It's really, really important. And understanding how the market's movements can affect your portfolio, what's going to go down, what won't be changed, and what could potentially go up. And when you do this, the market, you're basically saying to the market, I'm doing my active learning. I have my knowledge, my courage. I understand what I'm doing. And the market says, okay, good, I'll reward you for that. Because definitely the market penalizes blame and gambling. In Zone 1 and Zone 2, people think the markets are just like a casino. They've worked very, very hard for their money. And they just want to go in and say, okay, give me 1000x. They can be quite unrealistic because there's a lot of Zone 1 and Zone 2 influencers out there that say these kind of things are guaranteed. No such thing exists. Loss is part and parcel of any financial market. And potentially the best thing that you can do with crypto, but this also applies to the stock market, if you get a sniff that something is not right, if major people, for example the CEO or the CFO, this is a real red flag in the stock market, if they've resigned, especially if the CFO has resigned of a particular company, it means that company is ready to be shorted. CFOs don't resign for no reason. And when you see top people moving out of companies and big management reshuffles, that means there's a potential fire that's being papered over, but that paper will burn eventually. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of people lacking integrity and decency, doing the wrong things by their customers, the wrong things by their investors. And what happens? Innocent people get burned. And not only this, the actual founders who perpetrate this lack of integrity and lack of decency are actually headed towards jail time as well. What we do inside our community is we focus on positive excellence. We actually put money last. Money is not the king. It's not a god. It is actually the output of doing the right things. It's the output of providing value and benefit to other people. It's not something that you should chase directly. And as a trader or investor, it's all about having the right strategy, having the knowledge, knowing what you're doing, and then executing on that. Sometimes you'll get it right and sometimes you'll get it wrong. And that's not the point. The point is to always keep on going. Have that persistence and commitment. It's incredibly important. A life lived from positive excellence. If those people in charge of those particular companies that melted down had positive excellence, I believe the crypto market would not have melted down. Positive excellence is not an optional thing that we should have in life. It should be our focus. If scammers understood positive excellence, they would stop trying to steal from people and just go out and earn it. They sure have the persistence and commitment, but it's not in the right direction. That is negative excellence for scammers. And if you're a scammer and you're watching this, please stop doing it and start focusing on positive excellence. You're harming people who can't afford to lose money. All investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. So if you're an investor and you don't know how to buy and you don't know how to sell, or you're really quite unsure as to when to do that, please learn how to trade, and learn to trade from somebody who has integrity inside Zone 3 and Zone 4. A lot of people say that the really, really wealthy have people who invest on behalf of them. I know really, really wealthy people, and they would not let anyone touch their money because nobody can do it better than them, because they understand what they're doing. When you get synchronized in with the market and just use very, very small position sizes and then scale. I developed BORSOG trading to help people to get into the market. Paper trading is utterly useless. It might teach you a few things, but it won't teach you really anything to do with the emotional management side and how to scale and descale. and you scale when you're synchronized, and you descale when you are desynchronized, and you're always going around this circle, always, always, always. That is why your synchronization factor is really important. And it's important also to have the internal integrity to just say whatever it is with your synchronization factor. If it's really, really low, that means that the institutions are doing their job. The institutions do not want you to synchronize in with the market. They consistently want you to desynchronize out of the market. And when you understand this, you can take the institutions on. The institutions should earn what they get, just like everybody. They shouldn't be manipulating people emotionally and through fear, because what typically happens, and you'll see this many, many times, when the markets go green, everybody gets really excited and they go and buy, putting themselves on the wrong side of the percentage. And then what does the market do? It flips back the other way and everybody sells. You can see this is a death of 1,000 cuts. That is why BORSOG trading, buy on red, sell on green, is rule 621 from the Masterclass. But please, you must know what you're doing. Just don't buy on red because it's red. That won't take you out of the woods. You must know what you're doing. We can get a very good picture of what the entire cryptocurrency market is doing by looking at total crypto market cap. It's very positive that we've actually drifted sideways on the weekend. And we're pretty much range bound between this $795 billion support level and this $816.72 billion resistance level. Support is where smart money comes in and buys. Resistance is where smart money comes in and sells. So if you're buying around a sell level, ouch, that's not the best thing to do. But if you're buying around a support level when other people are coming in and buying, wow, that's a pretty good thing to do. And these horizontal lines, these SLs or Stanfield levels, are actually derived from the CTKS method, where we mark up all of price history, not just recent price history, all of it. And what we can see here, technically, we've overcome one level of resistance. This is a really good thing. And what do we see now? We're just kind of range bound. But is there some more? Something else that could give us an indication as to where we're potentially headed? Definitely there is. We can draw in this upward support line and we can see we've got a little bit of negative air and we're just slightly under resistance. Is this so much under resistance that it's absolutely guaranteed that we're coming down to the 795 billion? Not really, because it's weekend trading and prices can get pushed around very, very easily on the weekends because there's lower liquidity. And when there's lower liquidity, there's actually more trading opportunities. And this is really interesting because a lot of people say, oh, the crypto market is decreasing in liquidity. That's actually really good for us, especially when things get volatile, especially to the upside. And what you will find, liquidity actually drains away from projects that don't have good fundamentals, don't have good solid use cases. They're not practical, they're just theoretical, and it will gravitate up towards the top 20. At the moment, there's a bit of a probability that we'll come down and at least touch this 795 billion, but always have your three-dimensional thinking. What happens if we go down to the 795? What will you do then? What happens if we get above this particular resistance, turn it to support, and then challenge this 816 line? And then what happens if we got above that? That would be very, very positive. The press and the media want to give you doom and gloom when the institutions are buying, and they want to give you the best possible news when the institutions are selling. And why is that? Because the institutions have massive orders and they need retail to clean them out. That's why Zone 3 and Zone 4 thinking is completely opposite to Zone 1 and Zone 2 thinking. Rule 45 from the Masterclass is incredibly important. No alt, your beloved alts, cannot escape Bitcoin's gravity. Bitcoin's price movements, the direction of the volatility of Bitcoin, will dictate where your alts go 99% of the time. And what can we see with Bitcoin? Bitcoin has actually overcome several levels of resistance. We talked about that yesterday. That's really, really good. This is very positive. And we can see we're coming up to a short-term support line here at around 16,741. The current price of Bitcoin is 16,793. And we have a very strong support at 16,626. So in all, this is actually quite positive. When we look at the crypto market, we can see total crypto market cap. It is composed of things like FTT and all the other tokens that have been very hard hit by FTX's situation. But Bitcoin still controls the incremental movements, the percentage movements of all of the cryptos in the crypto industry. So we must be aware of what Bitcoin is doing. If Bitcoin comes down and finds support around this support line or even down 16,626, a long wick rejection, that is actually incredibly positive. If we get over this particular resistance, let me just draw that in. We can see this overhead resistance level, very, very short term. The real resistance is up here at 17,102 and the real support is down at 16,626. But if we get above that 16,851 level, that is the first stage in us moving towards the 17,102 level. If we actually drop down below the 16,740 mark, we may well be on the way to 16,626. But remember, this is a very, very strong support level. This is an institutional grade smart money buy level. And that means if buyers are not stepping in here, we expect a lot of downward momentum. But they have been stepping in. Even when it came down chaotically, they stepped in. They resisted this upward area of 17,102, but came back and retested. This is actually looking very good. If we had an incredibly negative session on Bitcoin, we would have expected these resistance lines to hold and Bitcoin's price to collapse down in alignment with that. That's not what we're seeing here at the moment, at the current time. So I believe what is actually occurring just across the weekend, and we know crypto changes so quickly, but what we're seeing is a very, very positive neutral sideways action of overcoming different resistance levels. Looking at the longs and the shorts, and Masterclass students, you get this chart in TG34. We can see the longs are coming out and they're not buying the dip. Well, who could blame them really? A lot of longs get caught up with retail thinking, and of course the news is not very good, so the longs have been liquidated because we can see the shorts are increasing. They're putting a lot of pressure on the longs. But what happens over time when more and more shorts get liquidated, the longs get vulnerable, and when more and more longs get liquidated, the shorts get vulnerable. And what happens when shorts are liquidated? They have to buy. They're forced buyers, and that can signify the market going up. So let's have a look at their liquidations to see how significant this actually is. 55.9 million has been liquidated across the past 24 hours across 31,039 positions. And if you don't want to get liquidated, just buy at spot. Go slow to go fast. Get out of zone 1 and zone 2 and move into zone 3 and zone 4. We can see across the past 24 hours, about 58% of total liquidations have been long. What about the past 12 hours? Total liquidations about 57% long. Past 4 hours, about 73% long. And the past hour, about 60% long. So we can see a lot of longs getting liquidated, but there's very, very low volume. But actually this is quite a much higher volume than traditional weekends, which can be around the 20 to 30. So we're seeing a lot more volume inside the market. Looking at the greatest gainers and greatest losers, TWT Trust Wallet up nearly 16% over the past 24 hours, followed by Doge, followed by GMX, Stacks, DOT, Neutrino USD, a stablecoin, and ZEC. The greatest losers, poor old FTT, down 13.38%, followed by Synthetics, Maker, Link, Matic, Aave, and 1 inch. Many times I've talked about the US liquidity crisis that occurred in 2020 that saw a great sell-off in the markets. And I mentioned to people, would you buy this crash? Or would you just not buy it? Would you run away from it? And invariably people would say, oh, I definitely buy that because the price is so much higher now. But when you're inside one, it's really hard to gather that courage together to get involved. But the truth is that these kind of times are the best times. They will make you fortunes. But only if you have the knowledge. Please don't gamble. And looking at Bitcoin's gravity, overplaying Ethereum, we can see Ethereum is just a little bit stronger. Go ETH. With BNB, it's a little bit weaker. XRP, bit stronger. ADA, little bit weaker. Doge, much stronger. Well done, Doge. And when we look at Matic, Matic has been very, very strong. If Bitcoin starts to put in a rally, we would expect Matic to go for it. What about DOT? DOT is looking quite good, synchronizing in with Bitcoin's alignment, but stronger. And we can see Solana, poor old Solana, not looking too healthy at all. If Bitcoin decides to put in a bit of a push up, and it could well do that, when we look at the DEXs, we can see Uniswap looking quite good, just basing out there and stronger than Bitcoin's gravity. Synthetics is quite weak. And when we look at XLM, that has a degree of strength as well. Cake is under Bitcoin's gravitational alignment, so is Rune. 1 inch, way under. BAL is over, and SushiSwap is under. So when you actually look at this, one thing that you probably want to keep in mind is to go with strength. Going with strength, and especially if you get any indications of strength spikes, these spikes up here, they can often foretell what a particular token wants to do. The down spikes, I'm going down. The up spikes, I'm going up. Down spike, up spike. You can see it all the time. So Cake could be quite interesting. It's trying to signify, hey, I want a party, just too many sellers above. But if Bitcoin goes up, those sellers will get shaken out. So these are things to just keep in mind. There's no guarantees with anything, and please always do your own research. Always do what is best for you. I don't ever recommend any particular crypto. The fan tokens can be quite interesting to track, and we can see Chile, so much strength above Bitcoin's gravitational alignment. Mask, a little bit stronger, but nowhere near as strong as Chile's. We can see audio below Bitcoin's gravity, and SNT very much below. Steam, just aligning, but it's still a little bit below. IQ, below. Santos, just a bit below Bitcoin's gravity, and Lazio doing quite nicely. What you will find, if you can take advantage of these downward spikes, it can be quite advantageous. But I would suggest always just using coffee money. Just keep your outlay as cheap as possible, but also keep your eyes on the fees. Yesterday, we talked about integrity. And there's a lot of really good comments in the comment section about integrity. Warren Buffett said, look for 3 things in a person: intelligence, energy, and integrity. If they don't have the last one, which is integrity, don't even bother with the first 2, which is intelligence and energy. I totally agree with Warren. This is important. This is more important than a lot of people realize. And it takes a certain amount of time to understand it. So what is integrity, and what's a lack of integrity? Integrity is abundance thinking. It's all about honesty, decency, trustworthiness, empathy, and kindness. People are genuinely kind. They're genuinely real. They're not out to harm or to hurt other people. I have an illustration here of a glass. The glass is not in any way, shape, or form broken. And what is a lack of integrity? A lack of integrity is zone 1, zone 2 thinking. It's poverty thinking. It's all about deception, rudeness, unreliability, blame, self-interest. When a person has integrity, they put the other person's self-interest in front of their own. Therefore, integrity is part of zone 3 and zone 4. I put a little quote here: integrity values relationships over self-interest. From yesterday's comments, Brett said that he believes Charles from Ada Cardano has integrity. It's so absolutely important for the founders of different projects to have integrity. If they don't, they'll fleece their investors. So yes, I think Charles does have integrity too, Brett. And Brett shared a story. I shed a tear today about a lack of integrity with someone in my life. I felt so sad when I realized they weren't being truthful. It means now that trust is an issue. And believing them becomes difficult because I will now need to check any important things that I would have previously trusted them with. It's a really horrible thing, Brett, but inside Zone 1 and Zone 2, people with a lack of integrity actually lie deliberately. These people actually abuse the trust that we give them. And Brett says, I guess this is how a lot of people feel about FTX this week. Foolish and angry. Much love and peace to anybody who's been involved in FTX and its wider fallout. Very nice, Brett. And of course, that's exactly how we all feel. And Jade said, if a person has integrity, you do not have to question their actions or intentions. You know they are honest and will do the right thing, even if it is difficult. Thank you, Jade. Absolutely. And Ivan shared a little story. Even if you're feeling fear, you require courage to advance. And when you are committed, you pass through that fear to get the significant life gains that lie ahead. Very nice, Ivan. And many people have given Charles from Cardano, Ada, a very big tick. Good on you, Charles. And John says, without integrity, failure will approach sooner or later, sooner in this current bear market. Very, very true, my friend. And wishing everybody a beautiful weekend as well. And Jay said, arrogance is a sign of fear. Bitcoin seems to have always had a high level of integrity and remains that way. Totally agree, Jay. And something else, arrogance is also a sign of a lack of integrity. There's some incredibly arrogant founders of some very good projects out there. That arrogance blinds them to think about their investors, to think about their people, to think about their community. Arrogance is the exact opposite of integrity. And John said something incredibly important. Integrity is consistent and totally reliable honesty and truthfulness. The consistency and reliability is very important. You can't be kind of having integrity. You either have it or you don't have it. John goes on to say, there's a sort of kindness and respectfulness about people with integrity. You know them when you meet them. We have so many incredible global family members. And if you have family or friends who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do here each and every day, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We would love to see them here, and we have one of the best communities on YouTube. I'd really recommend that you read the comments. There's so many insightful comments. We have just such an incredible global family, and I'm so appreciative to know you all. And we just love Beardy. Beardy says, Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried, he will need to be freed soon. I think he's going to prison. Needs to learn positive excellence like our community. Now that he is bankrupt, I think we should give him a partial masterclass scholarship to attend the CTKS Masterclass if he is willing. It could have saved 10 billion. And not to mention, all of those 100,000 plus creditors wouldn't have to go through the hell they're going to go through now. It's very nice, Beardy. And with that, Beardy said, I'm going to put a partial masterclass scholarship through anyway. Beardy, you're a legend. There's so many comments that I would like to read out, and especially ours. My heart goes out to all who have been hurt by the arrogance, lack of integrity, and absolute fraud that has been linked to crypto exchanges and projects. Unfortunately, the dust hasn't settled, so to speak, and I can still feel the sting from Celsius and Luna. Remember to protect yourselves and learn all you can, and adopt the concept of positive excellence. The sun will shine tomorrow, and we will come out stronger on the other side. Real wealth to everyone. What a beautiful comment. And thank you, my friend. And a very big thank you to Art. Art says, wow, I'm blown away by all the really kind comments to my post yesterday. I love you all so much. Integrity is one of my favorite words. Those with integrity look for the truth even if the truth doesn't benefit them. They live by unwavering ethical principles. When they speak, you can count on their word. And they are confident because they don't have to try to remember what lies they've told. Thank you, Art, for sharing. And to Anuj and Pedram, so good to see you, my friends. And Flamingo said, Theta looks to have a lot of integrity as a project as well. And Wabi Sabi, so nice of you to reach out, my friend. I hope everything goes really, really well for you. And again, I'd just like to thank our global family for reaching out and sharing your thoughts. It's just really, really beautiful. One thing that I would like to talk about in the comments today is opportunity. When you have a positive excellence mindset, when you come from zone 3 and zone 4 thinking, you will literally create opportunities. Zone 1 and zone 2 thinking actually shut out opportunities. Zone 3 and zone 4 create opportunities. And there's going to be so many enormous opportunities that are coming in the coming months. So how do you identify opportunities, and how do you fight the fear that the opportunity may not create itself? I think it's really, really good to discuss that, especially at this time when so much negativity is persisting. Let's have a quick look through the crypto market, and we'll just go through the CTKS Creed. The CTKS Creed primes our mind for profitability in not just the crypto market, but in life. It's a series of positive affirmations, just positive statements that we say to ourselves. So let's get into it. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities and life reset daily. I am worthy. I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Buy on red, sell on green. Rule 621. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. I'd just like to say a big thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. And please note, I don't have WhatsApp or Telegram. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.